Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, it is another pickups video today. Just the 4 I have for you today. I've actually purchased 5 games since my last pickups video between 2 and 3 months ago, because that's on average how long I give it until I make another pickups video. And the reason being, I'm actually going to be doing a one-off play and chat video, the first 20 minutes of gameplay of the other pickups video I've made, because it's a brand new released game. So you'll see what that is very soon. So yeah, just today I have 3 on the Xbox One and 1 on the Xbox 360. I've also purchased a digital game, which was Papers, Please, but I always brush over the digital games. And I've been buying a lot of games that I've already got on the Steam Summer Sale. Only last January did I get a laptop that can really play some modern games. Not all, but it can play some pretty high intense modern games with pretty good graphical settings, so I'm happy overall. Anyway, let's get started. Without further ado, it is Hitman 2016. This is the Steelbook edition, ladies and gentlemen. And this sees Hitman returning to a less linear style than Hitman Absolution was. But I've got to say straight off the bat that I absolutely loved Hitman Absolution, and I didn't really fully get into the old Hitman games. I played Hitman 2 when I was much younger. Couldn't play it properly, way too young, didn't understand how to play it properly. Hitman 2016 gives you a lot of ways of killing enemies, the targets I should say. It has a lot of replayability, replay value, because of the challenges and little nuances that the developers have put in the game to keep you playing. There's a lot of different things you can do. I really like the, not so much weapon wheel, it's like an inventory wheel. That is brought back from Hitman Contracts, I'm guessing, and Blood Money. And this game probably most represents Blood Money, with a little bit of Absolution in there in terms of the pure gameplay, if you were going to go batshit insane and start blasting gats all over the place. But the game looks beautiful, no doubt about that. And the levels are very diverse, and you've got Colorado, USA, Marrakesh, which I think is Morocco. Is there one in Italy? I can't remember. There's one in Japan. But yeah, the levels all look completely different, and there's tons of enemies, sorry, not enemies, like characters, NPCs if you will, in every single level. There's so much going on, and yeah, for hardcore Hitman fans, this is definitely recommended if you liked Hitman 2, Hitman Contracts, and I'd say especially Hitman Blood Money. I played about 3 levels and then stopped playing. It's a trend I have with modern games, but I can't say that it wasn't good. It's only the fact that sometimes I kind of feel annoyed trying to kill the target, because the kind of kill that I find the most satisfying is stumbling upon a kill that works really well, where you would just end up using the silver baller and popping that motherfucker in the back of the head instead of going through a hell of a lot of nuanced skills first, getting into a disguise, finding something in the game world that person is going to tamper with, which might, I don't know, electrocute them, see them fall down a hole, something like that. There was a lot of on-rails kills, and if you've already managed a lot of them, it can then seem a little bit dull. But I guess that's when you start coming up with different ideas. But it's nice that we've got a game like this in the modern day that gives you that many different ways to play the game. Overall, although I'm not a huge Hitman fan, I've got to say that it's a solid game, and it will definitely appease people who didn't like Absolution because of the linearity and, the kind of things that it was criticised for, I guess. But anyway, second up, ladies and gentlemen, is a game I've already played before, but I've got to show it in the pickups anyway. It is BioShock The Collection. And I actually sold BioShock 1, 2 and 3, which I had on the Xbox 360, and purchased this. Main reason being just due to space, really. I've got a little bit of space on my gaming unit there, but not that much. Sell 3 games, buy 1. May as well. This is free in 1. I have now completed all the BioShock games 3 times each, and I've got to say that Infinite is no longer my favourite. I would like to switch that to the first Bioshock. I remember after I played them all through once, the first game was my least favourite, and that was probably because it was the hardest in my opinion. And I remember getting frustrated by it, but it was my first experience of the series, of course. And I preferred 2 because the hacking was easier. I preferred 2 because you got the drill instead of the wrench. But then I really enjoyed Infinite. But playing Infinite this time around has made me realise that although the gunplay is better, and undoubtedly it is, overall the experience left me a little bit annoyed, more so, and I just realised just how good the first game is, and I'll definitely be going back to the first game for another playthrough, playing on the hardest difficulty with the Vita Chambers turned off. The Vita Chambers, when you die, you just return to them, so there's no real consequence to dying. Essentially, if you wanted to kill an enemy with the most HP in the game, with the wrench, when unupgraded for example, you just go to him, boom, 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 knock about 1% of his health off, get killed, and just come back, rinse and repeat, with no real consequences when you die. You just go into the Vita Chamber. Best of a British. So that will be interesting. I'll definitely do that because there's 2 separate achievements for doing so. But yeah, these remastered versions of Bioshock did get a bit of a criticism, but more so on the PC version, and at the end of the day I'm not going to get the PC version. I will say I have seen some very peculiar frame rate issues that definitely weren't in the originals, more so on Bioshock Infinite though. But overall, I don't mind. I've cleared up some space and I've got all 3 great Bioshock games in one. And will they make a 4th one? That'll be interesting to see. And also, I've never played the DLC. And there's challenge rooms in the first Bioshock. Damn, I need to check those out. But yeah, great series, and I'm delighted to pick that up. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is a game I purchased on the day of release. Paid a hell of a lot of money for it, needless to say. I plugged in about 30 hours in the first 2 weeks of release and haven't gone back since. It's a game that nearly hit the right spot, but for reasons I'm going to tell you, I just didn't come back to it. Who knows if I will. It is none other than Prey. A game that in terms of its locale setting, voice acting, game world, some of the mechanics, absolutely spot on. But the reason that I stopped playing this game was because of the multitude of side quests and side objectives which just started to irritate the life out of me. Where I am now in the game, where I've stopped playing, I've got 15 side quests, and for a whole host of different reasons, I cannot do them. So I just set my waypoint to a certain side quest on the other side of the ship, and parts of the ship are blocked off. This is like Fallout New Vegas on crack, with all those mountains that block you. That fucking infuriated me. This game is like that, and I don't like games that do that. Oh yes, we're open plan, we're open world, but getting around the ship is so difficult. And another thing is, this game's loading times on console are absolutely diabolical. I can't remember what the frame rate's like. I think it's okay. But there's so many good things I like about this game. The recycler and the fabricator. You put loads of useless junk that you find around the ship into a recycler, and it gives you organic materials or other kind of materials. I can't remember what they're called now, but there's other materials. And you then put them in a fabricator, and you can make ammo, health, guns, and other such things as well, and make blueprints. And that was a really good idea. It's just that the gameplay isn't that fun because the mimics are not that fun. They get boring to kill, and the game doesn't really diversify it up. And I've also got to say, this is one of the hardest games I have played in a long, long time. For me, normal difficulty is too challenging. I've played some games, and I've really loved some games that give you a hard challenge on its default difficulty, but it all depends on the pace of the gameplay and whether you're getting into it and everything. And for me, this was just not a little, it was way too hard. I'm getting one-shotted by enemies on max health. And I don't know really if I'm going to come back to this game. I think it'd be a shame not to. I plugged 30 hours in. I was addicted. I played 8 hours in a row one time, but no, I've just not gone back to it. Maybe I'll cheese it and just look online how to do some of these side quests and side objectives, because with these kind of games, some of them are so vague, side quests and side objectives, that you just get lost. And I'm the kind of guy, even though I'm not a sandbox open world kind of player usually, I like linear games. I like to do as much as I can because I want to feel like I'm getting my money's worth, and I paid a hell of a lot of money for this game. That being said, I kind of feel like it's the game that's going to take a while, even if you just do the main quests, like, 15 hours or so. But I will come back to it, and as the price comes down, I would recommend this to most people who, by looking at the front cover and the back, feel like they'd be interested in it and they like similar games. When the price comes down, I do recommend buying it, but prepare to have some frustrations, like I said. Getting around the ship and getting cop blocked and the long loading screens, they're a bit of a killer for me. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least is a game that I am currently playing on, and hopefully I won't just stop playing on midway through. It is a game that received some criticism on release, a hell of a lot of criticism, to be honest with you, from major fans, but it was the first game in the series which wasn't done by Team Silent. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is none other than Silent Hill Homecoming, released in 2008, and I think the developers here were called Double Helix, not Team Silent, the crazy Japanese geniuses who made Silent Hill 1, 2, 3 and 4, The Room. This was released, like I said, in 2008, and there's two camps of people. Ones who absolutely hate this game and think it's diabolical, and people who think it's underrated. And I'm not a humongous Silent Hill fan, but so far I'm really enjoying this game. But I've got to say that I have seen some footage. I've seen a few speedruns of this game by one of my favourite streamers. I've seen a few casual playthroughs by someone on Twitch who I like as well. And I've also seen Mr. G Star's 321's Let's Play or walkthrough, whatever, on YouTube. And he's my favourite YouTuber. So I have seen bits and bobs, and it's given me a weird kind of semi-blind playthrough, which I'm remembering certain parts of the game, but yet and still I don't really know where I'm going. But I am enjoying it. One of the reasons I'm enjoying it is because the combat system is refined and much better. Some of the enemies are really, really cool. There's a dodge mechanic which actually works, and the use of melee and mixture of guns is really cool too. Playing on normal difficulty, and I'm finding it just about the right amount of challenge. I'm finding the game quite open and reminding me of old Resident Evil and Silent Hill without being as obscure and difficult to get around like Silent Hill 2, for example, can be. And I'm finding that it's a nice balance. I have seen gameplay of Silent Hill Downpour, which was the game released after this, and I've got to say Downpour looks like a complete piece of shit. This game is still dark, mysterious, eerie, disturbing, and quite simply has a lot of the similar traits that the old Silent Hill games had. Now maybe it doesn't execute them quite as well constantly, but I still think it does a pretty good job. But I know that not everyone is going to agree with me on this. Old school Silent Hill fans. It's like with Hitman before when people didn't like Absolution. I understand. Hitman and Silent Hill aren't two franchises that I love. The two franchises I respect and like, but it's not like Resident Evil to me, for example, where Resident Evil 6 came out, everyone had a heart attack, me included. Strongly brewed, 1 sugar. I've just woken up, ladies and gentlemen, so I do apologise on this Saturday morning. But like I said, there is one other pickups video. I'm going to be doing a play in chat now, my first 20 minutes of gameplay of it. Really excited to play it. You'll find out what it is. I'm going to upload it tomorrow. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.